Who knew Walmart Business could help a thriving office motivate their employees? Pamela knew. She uses Walmart Business to get the assortment of items her team needs at the prices she loves.
As the office manager, it's my job to make sure my team stays on top of their game. I can get the basics like cleaning supplies and paper towels, but what they really care about, snacks.
And she can get everything they need when they need it.
Greg loves wheat crackers, Brenda craves sour candy, and Max, oh boy, he needs protein bars and milk and applesauce
It's
and
Walmart,
jerky.
built for your business. Who knew?
Here's a tip for you. There's a podcast out there with fans waiting to be your next customer. They tune in every week, they trust the host, and that host wants to talk about brands like yours in their own words to their audience. The problem is, you just haven't been introduced yet. We're Acast, where that introduction happens. As the world's largest podcast marketplace, we let you browse shows, see who's listening, and book host-read sponsorships or run your own ads all from one platform. Transparent pricing, real-time data, complete control. Start advertising on podcasts by visiting acast.com/advertise.
We love that we get to record the Sewing Club podcast on Turrbal and Yagara country. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. Welcome to the Sewing Club podcast. I'm Gemma from Sewing Gem.
And I'm Kylie from Kylie and the Machine. And today's episode is a fun one.
It is. It's the Tessuti Robe.
Yes, Tessuti is a fabric shop in Sydney and Melbourne, if you haven't already heard of them. And they also do their own patterns that complement the fabrics that they stock.
They're a great, family-run company. It was awesome. We got to speak to Colette from Tessuti, and it was really exciting to hear the story behind how they sort of came to be. Yep. And I love their patterns and their fabrics.
Me too. We chose the robe because we thought maybe something that you could make for a gift or, someone else or, just something fancy for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I made something fancy for myself, but you actually made yours as a gift, didn't you, Kylie?
Yes, I've been wanting to make something for Sally.
Yay.
To show gratitude for all the hard work that she does. And also I wanted to put as many labels as I could in it.
How many did you manage?
Not sure. We'll count later.
Later.
Yeah, a lot. More than normal.
So has Sally seen the robe yet?
No, she hasn't seen. She's seen the colour.
Okay.
She saw the fabric and she saw me cutting it out. But I have done a lot since she's seen it last.
We're going to unveil it now? Is that the plan?
Yes.
Ooh,
I'm just going
to
bring it down and so Sally can see it for the first time.
So lovely.
I'm excited.
Yay.
Here it is.
Oh my God.
It's beautiful.
Oh my God. Oh my God, you put the fairy bread label on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love this.
It's almost like a finder label. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
Can you put it on?
Yeah,
Yes.
You can just look all over
Hold
it.
it up,
There's so
hold it up.
many labels.
Damn.
And
This is
I love it.
gorgeous.
It's a beautiful.
I love the trim you've done with the purple.
Aw, thank you so much.
It's actually not 100% finished.
I'm so
if you see
fancy
that
now.
It's
part
what?
at the bottom. There's that little part at the bottom that's not finished.
Oh.
But
Aw, darling,
point
this
out
is
that.
beautiful. Thank you so much.
Lovely.
you're welcome.
Aw, I'm going to wear it every day.
To work? You could just swan around in the office.
Literally,
innit?
I'm going to wear it in the office.
I made it for you
This
because
is my non-smoking jacket.
it's your coffee jacket.
I deserve an armchair
It's
now.
not- I literally thought so. Sally's going to be walking around, sipping coffee, going out on her balcony, and she can be
that is
wearing
me.
just underwear, and you can go out on the
Yeah,
balcony.
or
and
not
out. You know
even.
what I mean?
That's
You
right up
don't
my
have to
alley.
get fully
Yeah.
dressed because
Yeah.
you're in your home,
Yeah.
and you can just
Yeah.
swan around.
And I'll just go down to the grocery store in the same attire.
Maybe that's a thing. Maybe not. Da da da.
Turn the heads. Oh,
But
it's
yes.
stunning.
Oh, it's divine.
It's a
Thank you
purple
so
colour.
much. This is a perfect robe.
It is.
That color is
Yeah.
It's a it's lilac. Yes.
It's
So
like a deep lilac.
it does look a
and-
bit different from how I imagined it because my computer screen's always really vibrant, but I
Yeah.
love the color that it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's beautiful.
No, it's heaven. I'll describe it a little bit. It's this gorgeous, sort of a deeper lilac, and Kylie's done the most beautiful white trim on the pockets and all around it and on the tie, and kitted it out with all my favorite labels.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Can you
This
do
is
the
insane.
label count for us? How many have we got?
I can see 2 from
1,
there.
2, turn
Okay.
it round.
We've got quality shit on the back. We've got So Special, which is our metallic side seam in a pocket. We've got Mel Stringer sewing in her undies at the sewing machine.
That's the new one.
At the back. And we've got Ooh La La, which was a calendar label. And then we've got Rachel Burke's Fairy Bread, which is divine. And I love it on the front pocket.
There's more.
There's more.
There's 3 more.
It's like a little treasure trove.
It
Yes.
is.
What have we got in there?
Like the Where's Wally of labels. Quality over quantity.
That's because I don't make you many things. So quality over quality.
I mean, I have a lot of your stuff in my wardrobe, so. And you can't buy this metallic, which
And there's
I
one
love.
more.
Oh, is there telling?
Yeah. In
Gotta
the
find it.
it's in
I've lost
inside
count.
side seam.
Are you keeping count?
I don't know.
7, 8?
Oh, dope. Look after me. Look after you. I love it. I love it. Self-care, self-care.
These were the ones that I pulled a bunch of labels, and these were the ones that I wanted to get in there, but I didn't. Iron me, because this fabric is like beautiful and swishy, but it really gets crinkled.
It
nice,
really does,
very
yeah.
easily.
You've just got
And
to embrace it, haven't you?
you got to embrace
Yeah.
the crinkle.
Yeah.
And what color did you use for yours, Gemma?
Well, mine was a classic white.
Yes.
It's not the most exciting of colours, but yeah, I wanted white because I like the idea of a nice sort of classic robe. I mean, I don't know if it's going to go so well when I'm getting ready with foundation and makeup, but you know what? It's going to be fine. I'll just
Yeah. I love the classic.
I love the look.
white. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that I was going to keep mine just the all purple, but then I know Sally. Look, she's even wearing like a
Yeah.
singlet with the contrast binding on it
I
now.
love
I just
that.
know that that's kind of her thing,
looks
so I just
so
added
nice.
it. Even
I
though it takes a
really-
million
I was
more hours to do. but that's okay.
quality. No, it looks amazing. I love that little trim. I reckon it would have looked good actually even on the white one with the white trim, but you know, anyway, too late now.
True.
But the fabric was just perfect for this, and we probably should mention again about the fact that
Yes.
Tessuti are offering a discount on this most amazing Harley fabric.
Yep.
It's a beautiful blend because it's a linen Cupro tencel. Am I right in saying that? Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's got this really nice sort of squishy feeling to it.
Yep.
It feels really luxurious to wear.
Yeah. I was thinking about how I could describe it. So like Cupro gives it like a crunchiness.
Yes.
But then the the tencel gives it a drapiness.
Yeah.
But then the linen gives it a bit of structure, and then like you can crease it like a linen. It's
You
very
can.
interesting.
It is. And it's got a slight sheen or shine on one side. Very subtle. We're not talking super shiny, but it's just you can decide to either use the shiny side as your right side or the other way around. What did you do, Kylie?
I used the shiny side. Well, I did ask Sally what she preferred.
Yeah.
I think I would have made it the matte side for
I-
myself, but Sally wanted the shiny.
I actually went matte in the end. So we're going to something a bit different. So we should remind our listeners actually of the code that they need to use.
So it's Sewing Club Podcast. And that is the same code that you could use to get 20% off the PDF pattern for the robe.
Yep.
And also you can use the same code to get the 20% off the Harley range of fabrics. It comes in lots of colours as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Tessuti.
We did mention that it was probably not really beginner-friendly fabric.
No,
though, because
it
is
does
very
move a little
swishy.
bit. Yeah, it swishes. But, you know, the robe, I think, was a really nice pattern to make it with because it's quite, I mean, there are details on there that you need to be exact about, but it's fairly straightforward and you haven't got to worry about fitting and things like that. So it kind of lends itself very well to this pattern, I think, that fabric. Yeah.
I think probably the hardest thing is the volume of fabric that you're working with. And it's kind of like, you know, when you're trying to do the hems and fold things and there's just a lot of the robe. There's a lot of it.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Get into that later.
Yeah. Anyways, so the robe is a very standard bathrobe, kind of bridesmaid robe. You could make a toweling, but it's very similar to like a hotel robe.
Yeah.
But it's just like clean lines, just really nice. Drop shoulder. It's got wide arms, like wide sleeves, and you can choose the length of those, which I shortened mine, and you kept yours a bit longer. It's got pockets.
Yeah, pockets.
It's got a folded collar, and it has a tie. And it's also got a little loop at the back.
Yes.
So that you can hang it on a hook.
Hang it, nice little detail.
I like to add that to things anyway.
Yeah,
and I love
it's
it when
handy.
I see it in the pattern because it tells you to add that little detail and it's useful.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's really nice. A really nice classic robe. You can't really go wrong with this robe, I think.
Yeah. And when we spoke to Colette the other day, she did mention that it is sized for women. It's not like a unisex pattern. It doesn't really, if you had like a a large gentleman probably wouldn't, like a tall gentleman probably wouldn't fit him. It's more for females. And it is sized. I was surprised.
Yes.
I thought it was just going to be one size, but it's not. So.
It's and it has, it's not a real, as you say, oversized robe. It does fit nicely when you're wearing it.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like you're wearing a great big massive sack, which sometimes when you're wearing a robe, it can just feel like it would literally fit anybody.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. It's
like
one size is not me.
Yeah. You must be like, I don't know, you would lose you under it, Kylie.
Yes.
But no, it's good to have a bit more of a fitted style to it as well.
And what size did you make?
I made the size 1.
Okay, and I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's right. What did you make?
I made the 2.
The 2. Oh, okay.
Oh no, hang on. I think I made the 1 as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was looking at both and I thought I'm going to go with 1.
I did consider making a size up with it being a robe because you do want that robe to be a little bit oversized. But in the end, I went with the actual size that my measurements fell into, which was a size 1. So you obviously did you have a similar kind
I had a
of
thought, because
process?
I'm also thinking about someone else.
Yes.
It's like I know Sally generally likes, she's getting a T-shirt. She likes them oversized.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to guess. And then I ended up just texting her and I'm like, do you think you'd rather slightly bigger or one that would fit you according to what it's saying? And so, that's what I did. But
so good.
It's just nice to swish around in.
It is. It looks really nice.
Have you worn yours?
Not yet. No. I always wait until after. That's my rule. I can't wear anything I make until we do the photo shoot. Let's have this vision of spilling, and particularly with it being white as well. Yeah. Can you imagine me turning up with a big foundation stain around it or something? So the rule is get the photo shoot done and then it's wear whatever you like,
Yeah.
So we got the chance to speak to Colette from Tessuti, which was awesome. We had a really great chat with her.
Hello!
Hello!
Sorry, girls, I could see you chatting away and I just couldn't get on.
Oh, no worries.
Well, nice to meet you both.
Can I just say thank you so much for the beautiful fabric. I absolutely loved working with it. It's so nice. So perfect really for the robe. So thank you. Tell us about Tessuti.
Where do we start? It's been going since 1992. I started it when I was 24 and here we are 34 years later. I don't know if you know the story about Tessuti. It kind of started I was working with my mum in her clothing business. I'd finished my fashion course at East Sydney and was working with her and kind of didn't know where I fit into the business because I loved the fashion industry, but there were certain aspects of it that I didn't like because I'd seen how hard my mum had worked in it. And, I was helping her with grading. I was working in our retail store. I'd helped her design a little diffusion label, but I still wasn't quite sure that that's where I wanted to be. And then in the 90s, there was a bit of a recession going on. Things were tough and she had all these leftover fabrics. And I had happened to mention to my husband, who was then my boyfriend, that I was thinking of clearing her fabrics to help her just move some stock. And he had a cafe in Chatswood, which is where we had our original shop. And he said, that's a great idea. And he said, why don't you do it outside my cafe? And we were giving things away. There were beautiful silks at $10 and Italian linens, but people had just never seen anything like it. Word spread quite quickly. And in the middle of the day, they were asking me to go back and get some more because I was running out. And then I just thought, there was something in this. But I never thought that I would stick with it. I just thought, well, clear the stock and then, I'd go back to working with her. And then there were all these empty shops nearby his cafe. And I thought, why don't I didn't want to sign up a lease. I just took a month to month in one of these empty shops. And then I thought, no, this is me. This is what I want to do because I always loved the fabrics. When Mum used to go and select her fabrics, I used to go with her. I loved that. And I love retail. So I kind of think that was my thing. And so here we are.
What's the process for it seems like you have this fabric selection that nobody else has. What's the process for selecting all this fabric?
Well, at the beginning, after we were selling off, my mum's leftovers. In the very beginning, we thought, I tried to find what was available from local fabric mills, but it was limited and I couldn't get the quality that we had initially started with, like these beautiful linens and wools and silks. And so I thought, to keep them well priced, we'll go to other designers. And back then there were a lot more designers around manufacturing here, so the fabric was here. And then as they started to go offshore, then we thought we better source further afield. So we only started to go to Europe in 2005 ourselves to find things, and then buying from Japan. So we try and source things that we can, particularly base cloths that we can get in a nice big colour range. We also find wonderful linens, those printed linens kind of work with a mill that we've worked with for years that Mum used to work with, that bring out some lovely printed linen designs because people love those. So we just try and source them from mills mainly. Still some designer ends, but they're getting harder to source because everyone's getting smarter and buying tighter. They're just buying for what they need rather than buying surplus like they used to when we started. And then there was all this sort of leftover stock. And we've got some companies that we've worked with for years that even Mum used to deal with back when she was manufacturing. So, and then of course, it's always the focus is natural fibres, good quality, and also supporting those companies that do really good quality fabrics, because it's great to have that market where you've got a more affordable market and there is a need for that, but there's also a market to support those mills that still do good production, good quality, and they're in a different price point, but those fabrics, when you make them up, they're a pleasure to sew. The garments last, they wash well, and so we're just always trying to find something new, something different. Of course, now with online, we're all, there's a new kind of store popping up all the time. So we're all trying to do something different and find our little place in the market.
And do you visit those mills directly? Do you actually go over there and see the people making the fabrics? And
we do. Well, yes, most of the mills you'll have the stock there, so we won't see the production factories, but we have been to factories to see, the garments be printed, dyed, washed, all that stuff. It's amazing.
Are there any design details or which design details in the robe pattern do you love the most?
Definitely the neckband and the nice big full sleeves. I just love, there's lots of robes around that I've seen that have shawl collars. Didn't want anything like that. I kind of like the way the neckband kind of hugs the neck when it's on. And of course, those nice white sleeves with that same detail around the bottom of the sleeve.
Any advice or top tips for sewing the robe?
Yeah, definitely cutting, like making sure your fabric's all nice and straight and make sure that everything's cut and grained, particularly those neckbands. The notches are really important because you're pinning the neckband on to connect all the notches together when pinning it on so that everything fits nicely. And just take your time. I mean, it's nice and neat inside. Everything, like the hems are all finished off. The only overlocking you'll see will be the side seams. But it's a fairly simple sew, but I think the neckband, getting that nice and flat and correctly pinned together is probably the trick to everything. That little stitch in the ditch, that you do when you connect the band to the inside, that if you've done everything correctly, that should come together. And obviously, if you're a beginner, I would stick to a linen or a cotton, then something more slippery.
So cool. What 3 words would describe Tessuti?
Definitely quality. We're all about quality fabrics, quality patterns. We try and show how to make your garment slowly, carefully, so that they do last as well as the fabrics. Also, most importantly, is family. I think not only are we a family business, but our customers who have been with us from day one, they've seen me grow up in the business. There's many customers that have had babies when I had babies. So, kind of seen we've all evolved together, and they're still our customers and they feel like family as well. So I think definitely those three things I would describe Tessuti as.
Who knew Walmart Business could help a thriving office motivate their employees? Pamela knew. She uses Walmart Business to get the assortment of items her team needs at the prices she loves.
As the office manager, it's my job to make sure my team stays on top of their game. I can get the basics like cleaning supplies and paper towels, but what they really care about, snacks.
And she can get everything they need when they need it.
Greg loves wheat crackers, Brenda craves sour candy, and Max, oh boy, he needs protein bars and milk and applesauce
It's
and
Walmart,
jerky.
built for your business. Who knew?
While every other channel is fighting for your customers' attention, podcasts are where they've already given it. No one accidentally listens to a podcast for 45 minutes. They choose to be here. They trust the voice in their ears, and when that voice talks about your brand, it doesn't sound like advertising. It sounds like a recommendation from a friend. Acast gives you that trust at scale. Digital precision, host-read authenticity, and performance data that proves it worked. Don't fight for attention. Buy it with Acast. Learn more by visiting acast.com/advertise.
Yeah, we could have chatted to her for hours.
I know, it's awesome. And I love how it's such a family-run business. I think that's so cool. And that the inspiration for the patterns also come from all the different generations. I think that's really, really awesome.
It is really nice. And you can see that through the collections of fabrics and patterns. You can see there's 3 generations of influence there.
Something for everyone, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you made any other Tessuti patterns?
I haven't actually, but I have got my eyes on some of the other patterns.
You like the Alba pants?
The
right?
Alba pants I really like. And what was the top that Colette was actually wearing when we interviewed her?
Oh, yes. Well, that's the Annie top, but she'd hacked it to have thin straps. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the thin straps. They've got another dress, haven't they, with the thin straps?
Yeah. The Romy.
And
then also there's the Bondi dress, which has got that fringe.
Yes,
that's
about. What I love, the Bondi dress as well. Yeah, sorry, I've forgetting the names, but the Bondi dress I love, and the Alba pants, they're probably, they're next on my list for sure.
I grew up with the patterns and, when I started sewing, and I started sewing for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use a lot of their patterns. And now I'm adding more to the list because of, the conversation. And now we've spoken to the person and we see the hand that draws the pattern.
There's something really special about that. The Tessuti patterns are hand drawn, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you feel a bit of a connection to the person that's actually, drawn up this pattern.
Definitely.
And even with the instructions, I feel a little bit like that as well.
Yeah.
And there were elements in the instructions that I thought were just really thorough and really well written.
Yes.
Little things like when you're putting on the cuffs and the band on the robe, doing that row of stay stitching and then pressing, I felt that was just a really good, fairly foolproof way really of making sure that you then catch the underneath when you're top stitching to attach to do that final pass. I just thought that it was just really thorough and really well written.
Yeah.
And it had a bit of sort of slightly old school vibes to it, which I kind of liked,
Their patterns and their instructions are full of techniques that always surprise and teach me something. And the finish is always really top notch. So I think they have that industry background because Colette's mum was in the industry.
Yes.
And then it all sort of filters through and then you get a hybrid home/machinist way of sewing the garments, which I really like.
And it's so nice to be learning new things, even for simple things like attaching, whether it's attaching a cuff or whatever it is, but just learning new different ways of doing it that have come from industry, that you do get often a more professional finish.
Yeah.
And I really like that about the pattern.
Yeah. I find they don't ever leave anything to assume knowledge. Everything's actually in there and it shows in the pictures. It's photos instead of illustrations, which and sometimes it can be easier and more difficult, but they have a lot of photos in there showing you every little step and they explain everything really well.
And they're pretty clear, like you say, sometimes photos can look a little bit confusing, but I think in this case, all the photos all the way through were really clear in terms of what we needed to be doing.
Yeah, definitely.
And very cool having the handwritten hand-drawn, pattern as well.
I think that the sewing industry kind of went through this like weird change. It was all the big four, you know,
Yes.
the paper that we're all used to, and now they're all gone actually.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
if you've got them, that's like vintage relics now.
Yeah.
And then it was PDF patterns that were hand-drawn like this, and then they all went to like the digitized lines, and then Tessuti have just stuck with that. And some people might have, you know, thought, oh, well, it's not really modern, but now we've gone through this change, and now we've got AI, and now it's really nice to have this hand-drawn thing because you can be sure that it's been done by another
person,
human.
yeah. It's a nice touch. It gives you that reassurance, you know. So yeah, it's good to see.
So Gemma, alteration queen.
I've got a big fat 0 for you. No, I made no alterations. I
Really?
just made it as is. It's a robe. I was like, I can't be that odd a shape that I'm going to need to make alterations on a robe. Otherwise, I've got big issues. But no, it was just made in a size 1, and I can confirm that it does fit.
Yes, okay. And the length was probably good for you because it was quite long, I thought.
Yeah, actually, I did shorten mine very, very slightly, but not much because I wanted it to be more of a like summer type robe. I didn't want it to be too long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I slightly shortened it, but I kept the sleeves long. I love the long drapey sleeve, and everything else was exactly to the pattern. How about you? Did you make any tweaks?
Yeah, I did tweak the sleeve length because Sally is a big doer and like a cooker. Like she loves cooking. And I just thought if you're going to be cooking and making food for the kids or something like that, having like big long sleeves, big wide sleeves might be a little bit in the way. And I don't want her to have to be like, oh, I have to take this off to do something.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I didn't think about practicalities at all. I just like the swishy nature of the sleeves. But
well, don't you find that when you make something for someone else, you've got all these other inputs of information. You're like, oh, I can't do this because of this, and then I've got to make it perfect because of this, and there's all this extra pressure.
Yeah, and that's kind of the beauty, again, of being able to sew something and make it unique for them, to fit them, and that's really nice. And this pattern really does make an excellent gift because you're not having to worry too much about fitting.
No.
And it's something that, you know, probably everybody would love to have but doesn't necessarily go out and buy. And you know, and you can't buy, you know, because it's handmade. So
Exactly. I think that if you spent the time making this in a soft fabric that feels nice on the skin and you gave that to someone, they would just think that you're the bee's knees.
And I think also we all know our friends or family that would really, really appreciate those handmade gifts versus maybe some people that aren't as into that kind of world as others. So, you know, you got to pick your recipient, but I think most people that understand the time and the effort and everything that goes into sewing a garment would, I mean, if anybody made something like that for me, I would just be, you know, so happy because it's a really lovely, thoughtful gift.
It really is. And if you didn't want to make a gift,
Like
you
me.
know, well, it's the perfect thing for, you know, you've gone somewhere, you've seen some beautiful fabric, you loved the print and you loved the feel of it, and you bought a few meters of it, not knowing what you're going to do. And then every time you come back to your stash, you look at it and you're like, oh, it's so nice, it's so soft, what am I going to make out of it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a robe.
This is it, yeah. And it'll probably be with you for years, a robe, you know, it's the kind of thing that you have hanging in the bathroom forevermore.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to worry if it starts getting a bit tatty because it's, you know, from being washed and everything else, it's just going to be there forevermore. So it's a good thing to make out of your favourite fabric, I reckon.
Yeah. And you know how I'm not really big on prints and, you know, too much colours and things?
Yeah.
I actually go the opposite way for pajamas because I'm not like wearing them out of the house and I still get to, you know.
You get that out your system in your pyjama form. Yeah. I
so
like
maybe
that.
you might have bought a print that you love the look of, but you don't necessarily want to wear that as
Out the
garments or
house.
clothes. So that's the perfect thing to make.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that fabric's just sitting there.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's got something sitting there that could become this robe.
I agree. But it takes up quite a lot of fabric,
It
doesn't
does,
it? It's
yeah.
about 3 meters.
Yes.
To make this. So
And a lot of the silkier fabrics are like narrower sometimes as well.
Yeah. What were the bits of the pattern that you found the trickiest to sew?
I actually found the hem was the trickiest because I think it's like the last thing that I did, and because I've got the split, so I'm doing like 3 hems, not just one continuous one. And then it was just like the weight of the garment itself, and you know, you spent, you know, at the ironing board,
Yeah.
and Yeah, with this fabric, it's like it creases very well the first time you crease it, but then if you've creased it wrong, it takes a bit of effort to uncrease it and get it in the right position. Did you find that?
Yes, absolutely. And tell us about the splits as well, because obviously it's another adjustment that you made to the pattern. I really like that detail. So
yeah, I don't like having my legs constricted too much, like in like like a pencil skirt.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I thought, well, it's a summery one, right? It's not for warmth.
No.
So it doesn't need
bit of airflow.
It's actually probably better that there's more swishy and airflow happening, so that if you're wearing it and it's a bit of a warmer day, you don't need to take it off straight away because you get the little bit of air con.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I like it. And I like the detail as well. Yeah, just add something a little bit different to it.
Yeah.
Obviously you've added a trim to yours as well. Was that tricky to do?
No. See, this is why it all started, because I was making what do we call that thing where I make a little extra bit of fabric to make it for the label?
Oh, it's like is it a facing?
Yeah, but it's like an inside. What do we call it? Like a label stand or label stage?
We call it a label stand, but it looks like if you were doing a facing, like the inside of a gun. Yeah,
it's not part of the pattern. I added that.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I did the binding.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kylie. Is that on top? Have you taken that piece out of the main bit of the garment?
No, it's a second
top.
layer.
Got you.
It's just like another layer that I've stitched in there.
And then you've done the binding on the bottom.
Label.
Got you.
Because, I'm all about the labels. But
well,
because
we
I
need
did the
these
binding,
tips,
then I was like, oh, I like that white on the white binding looks nice with the lilac. And then I realised that that's the that fabric I actually got from Tessuti as well.
Right.
From another time when I visited and hadn't used it. And it's just a folded, it's like piping, but it doesn't have a pipe in it. It's just folded fabric. So it's like a trim. It's used the same as piping.
It's not on the bias.
Yes, it is.
It's on the bias.
It is on the bias, but it's just folded in half.
Okay.
And there's nothing inside it.
I love the way on that label stand, you have literally created a label stand and you've attached a label in the most cool way, which I hadn't actually seen before. So I think you should explain how you did that.
I was very impressed with myself.
Actually, you should be. You showed me the other day and I was like, oh, wow, why have I never thought of doing a label like that? That's so cool.
Well, I don't know why I hadn't thought of it before, but it just happened. And then
this is the first time you've done it this way?
Yeah. And I was meant to do it. Like we were filming and it was like meant to capture it. And then it was like I just got lost in the moment. And then I'm like, oh, it's done. And I didn't film it. So I'm going to film it again because I think people will want to know.
I think so. It's really unique.
It's kind of like a welt pocket in that you kind of cut a hole and fold flaps out of the way and they make like little window frame. That's the exact same size as the label, a little bit smaller. And then the label's actually behind it and then it's top stitched in place. And that probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but you'll see in the pictures.
I loved it. And because I was thinking to myself, I'm not really too worried about putting a label in a robe. I don't want it to, get in my way or whatever. Yep. And then I saw that and I was like, if you are worried about having a flappy label, then that's such a perfect way because it's completely flat. It's not going to be irritating at all.
No
not
edges.
that your labels would ever be irritating.
No, but there's no edges.
There's no edges. Nothing's going to catch. And it looks really professional. I loved it. So I'm definitely going to try and remember to do that in something soon.
Well, it was the robe itself that inspired that method because I'm like, usually when you wear a robe, you don't have like you don't have lots of layers underneath.
No.
And it is often on the skin. So I thought, this is good because it's going to ensure that it's nice and smooth.
And you were telling us if it was difficult to put the trim in, sorry, and I think we went off on a tangent.
It wasn't difficult because I used my number one favourite tool.
Ah, very good.
Glue.
And
that's the new KATM glue.
Oh, so tell us about the new glue.
Our old glue was so good. We were so happy with it. It was the perfect formula.
But
then we had some issues with the second batch. And then we tried many ways to correct it, and it was just inconsistencies and we just couldn't deal with it. So we have moved on to another formula and a different shape.
I like that.
And you get more glue.
Yeah.
And it's really, really useful. I used it for nearly every part of this. I think that it's most useful for shifty fabrics.
And did you use it on the collar piece and the band and the cuffs?
Yeah, pretty much used it for everything. I definitely used it for the pockets. Like the trim, I kind of folded the pockets as in the pattern, and then I added the trim sort of underneath it with glue first, and then I just attached the pockets and sewed it on. I use it for every part nearly.
And what colour is the glue?
Oh, it's purple.
Purple, of course.
In fact, I have some gifts for you.
Oh, for me?
Yes, the glue. And also, this is the Mel Stringer.
Oh, that's exciting.
The Mel Stringer collection.
Thank you, Kylie. I'm looking forward to using these. These are so cool. They're so cheeky, aren't they? I love them.
So, yeah, this is a new this is a shameless promotion for these
love it.
Favorite labels of mine. But, yes, the Mel Stringer is an illustrator, and we've worked with her before in 2021 to make a collection. And because it was a bit cheeky at the time, we didn't produce too many of them, and so they were very limited edition. But when we're looking on the hashtag and looking at all the community makes, we see them being used all the time. And then we had lots of people asking, could you bring those labels back? Because you only got one of each of them in the pack. And so we did a new collection with her, but we included the old collection as well because it was only like a very limited release.
Okay, that's cool.
That's why there's the two little sections.
I love them. And, there's some really lovely messages in here. You make my dreams come true. And then there's really cool ones, really fun, like no bra required.
Yeah, and it's a mermaid and she's floating in the water.
I definitely need to make something where no bra is required to use that.
Well, I've used that one on overalls because I feel like overalls it's like they put a lot of layers there.
Yes,
so,
true. You don't have to worry. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Kylie. I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to using this. I love the idea of the shape of this because I feel like the point of the triangle would be really good for getting into difficult places or just using a little bit. Yep. So, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's like you can use it like flat on a bigger surface or you can use it on a point.
Tiny little point
or you can actually use the side to make a line. Like when I was doing the hem, you just use the side of the triangle to just make a nice long line. Yeah. And because it's a purple, you can actually see where it's
Yes, okay, that's
done.
A good point.
And then actually a new use for it I just realised with this, because I was trying to look at the different length, I ironed it, but because of the fabric, it just wants to fall back down. And you could pin it, but I just put a little swipe of glue and just, you think of the glue as like a temporary hold.
Yeah.
It holds it until you decide to stitch it or to remove it from where it was stuck.
Yeah.
So, it can be used temporarily just to have a hem in place so you can try it on and see how that feels. And then when you're ready to sew it or you want to change it, you can just pull it off. It just comes apart.
And the nice thing I find about using glue over using pins is that often the pins can just very slightly change the level or make the fabric a little bit wavy.
Yep.
So you've got a completely flat surface to sew on when you're using the glue.
Yep.
And I know you don't do this, but I often like to just give it a little press with an iron as well if you're, really wanting to set that glue before you sew something. And I find that just a little bit of heat just means that it really sticks well.
Yeah, it does. And I that was your tip, because I didn't do that, but I did it for this, and it does. It kind of like sets it in place. And I noticed that when I mentioned this temporary hold for the hem, even like after a certain amount of time's passed and it's completely dried and they're not adhered together, the heat kind of almost like reactivates it a little bit. And so it is a good tip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So we go with that.
Yeah, well, I love it. Thank you. Glad I was able to share something about glue because you are obviously the glue master.
I'm just like anti-pin or something.
Yeah, I know.
I just think that
aren't we
pins,
all really?
They take so long. They take long time to put in. You can poke yourself. It puts holes in the fabric.
It can, yeah.
It doesn't really hold the fabric. It creates like a little warping shape
and
of the
often you
fabric.
need the right pins for the right fabric. So
Exactly. I just think if we can sew a little bit quicker and get better results with less mistakes, that is a shortcut that I will take every time.
I think everybody would, given the choice. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Have you got any tips, Gemma?
Yeah, I have. I would say don't skip the stay stitching on the cuffs and the neckband because I found that really helped because I didn't use glue. So when you attach it, obviously, first of all, and then you press it and then you stitch from the right side and you have to catch the underneath bit. So I would say on that bit, definitely don't skip having done that first section. You're going to be spending a bit of time at the iron, I would say, with this particular garment. Get the pressing right and everything should fall into place. I think the cutting and the pressing are really important and then everything should just flow nicely from there.
Yeah. Definitely the cutting, because it's like the whole garment drapes, right? Like it's not fitted. So if you've got twisted cuts, then that'll probably show in the garment.
I think we say this a lot with our tips, and I think that, often we get this tip as well from a pattern designer, but the message is often take your time, try and enjoy the process. Don't rush through it, because rushing is often when we end up in situations where we make mistakes. And I think this is one of those that's definitely true of that. You're probably going to be working with potentially a bit of a shifty fabric. There's things you can do to, minimize the chances of things moving and shifting, and slowing down and taking your time is the best way to do that.
And the way that they've designed this garment is so there's not a lot of overlocking in there. Like, it's meant to be that it's all enclosed seams, Oh, I didn't mention that I did the flat fell seam on the shoulder and the sleeve, because I just thought that, I don't know, sometimes the overlocking is just a little bit less smooth than the fabric. So I thought if I did a flat felled seam, even though it was only half an inch, so it was very skinny, and I wouldn't recommend it. Like, if you wanted to do that, I think you should add a little bit of seam allowance. But I just thought, because it's touching your shoulders a lot, and like the side and the shoulder seams there as well. So the sleeve seam, I mean. So, yeah. And then I just overlocked the side seams.
When we were chatting to Colette, she did talk as well about that very fine overlocking thread. So I think that's something we're definitely going to have to look at stocking at Sewing Gem, because it sounds great. So I would like to give that a try, I think.
Yeah, and she also talked about the different they have a couple of overlockers, and there's one, they've got like one set up with this thread and one set up with this thread and one set up with this thread, and that pretty much covers everything.
Everything. And they don't change colours a lot. They tend to keep them pretty neutral.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good tip, because sometimes changing the overlocker thread is like a hurdle in itself.
Who wants to do that? Let's be honest. We all have a little, do a little happy dance when we look over our overlocker and go, yay, it's in the right colour for what I'm sewing. I don't have to change the thread, because, it's a pain.
I had to change mine.
Did you?
Because I had black from the previous thing.
Yes. Well, I've been doing a lot of sewing of white recently, so I was pretty lucky, yeah. Okay, Kylie, should we do the ratings?
Yes, let's.
So, price, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, $18.
It's pretty good.
Australian.
And we've obviously got the discount as well running at the moment. So,
is that a 1?
A 1?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
good price.
Great. How about the sizing?
Yeah, the sizing is size 1, 2, and 3. Earlier I said 1, 2, 3, 4, but the sizing is 0, 1, 2, 3. And these are Australian sizes from 6 to 22. So it is a smaller range than other companies, but I know that Tessuti, that's their size range.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what they're good at, and that's what they offer, yeah. So, well, I guess we'll give that a lower score for that one, like a 3.
3?
Yeah.
3 out of 5. Okay, great. Difficulty. I mean, it says advanced beginner.
I believe that.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah, I think so. It's not a super beginner pattern. Often as well, like we talk about, difficulty comes down to the fabric that you're using, and there's probably a higher chance with this that you are going to be using a more shifty fabric.
Yep.
So maybe a 3?
It's like always our disclaimer. It's like, well, it could be a 2,
I know.
but if you use a shifty fabric,
let's be honest. I mean, it can. The most simple pattern can become a complete, a 5 out of 5 of difficulty if you're using something awful. So it's a 2 or a 3, I think.
Yeah. I think that all the techniques are very simple. There's nothing in there that is,
and there's no fastenings. There's no zips. So maybe a 2.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Take your time.
There's a lot of it though. It's a big garment. There's lots of fabric. Yeah. I don't think you need to make a toile, which is great. So, you just take your time, use a fabric that's stable if you're not confident, and then I think you'll end up with something really, really nice.
Instructions.
Oh, yeah.
They're good.
That's going to be high.
Yeah, I think so.
That's their strength. Their strength is definitely the instructions and the drafting.
And the photographs are really clear.
Yeah.
It's really, I think it's easy to see what's happening there.
Yep.
Quite beginner friendly because you're seeing it visually. There's not a lot of assumed knowledge in the instructions.
No.
So I think maybe a 4.
Yeah, I'd definitely give it a 4, yeah.
Yeah. Do we know if there's any like tutorials or anything? that goes with?
You know what? I didn't look this
No,
time
I
because
didn't look.
I just find that their instructions are so thorough.
But
that,
you almost don't need to.
Yeah, I feel like, well, especially because, I've been around them for a while, like they were more hand-holdy than other pattern companies in the beginning. And then now there's like more.
There's others that are even more extreme, yeah.
Yes. So I think a solid 4 for sure.
Yeah, solid 4.
Yeah.
And we've already touched on the draft, and we said how much we love the hand-drawn patterns.
Yeah.
Whether it's just nostalgia or I love it. We love it. So
And it's like years and years of like industry experience and collaboration between 3 generations.
Yeah, they're accurate. They're well drawn. They're
Love it.
They went together beautifully.
Yes.
So
always their patterns are very, very
Who knew Walmart Business could help a thriving office motivate their employees? Pamela knew. She uses Walmart Business to get the assortment of items her team needs at the prices she loves.
As the office manager, it's my job to make sure my team stays on top of their game. I can get the basics like cleaning supplies and paper towels, but what they really care about, snacks.
And she can get everything they need when they need it.
Greg loves wheat crackers, Brenda craves sour candy, and Max, oh boy, he needs protein bars and milk and applesauce
It's
and
Walmart,
jerky.
built for your business. Who knew?
While every other channel is fighting for your customers' attention, podcasts are where they've already given it. No one accidentally listens to a podcast for 45 minutes. They choose to be here. They trust the voice in their ears, and when that voice talks about your brand, it doesn't sound like advertising. It sounds like a recommendation from a friend. Acast gives you that trust at scale. Digital precision, host-read authenticity, and performance data that proves it worked. Don't fight for attention. Buy it with Acast. Learn more by visiting acast.com/advertise.
size. Yep.
So I think a 5.
Yeah, definitely. 5. Woohoo!
Okay, how many Sewing Club stamps are we going to give it, Kylie?
Okay, we're going to give
Give
it
it 4 Sewing Club stamps.
Sally's going to come back and give us an important message.
Exciting.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that Colette from Tessuti has very kindly given all listeners 20% off the Robe PDF pattern, which is very exciting, and also the Harley range as well to the end of the year. How cool is that?
Yes, that's the
so
beautiful
cool.
fabric we used for the robes that they kindly gifted to us. So, yeah, you can sew an identical robe.
It's
in a
it's
range of
perfect
colours.
fabric for this and for so many things. So
It's so luxe.
a really
It's
that's really
beautiful.
awesome.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you
Colette.
so much.
And you said that goes to the end of the year?
End of the year.
Yeah,
Oh
end
my
of the
God.
year.
Christmas present.
Yeah.
That's so generous.
It
Okay,
is
jump on
amazing.
that.
Yeah, get on there now.
Thanks, Tessuti.
Yeah.
And next month?
Next month, you can sew whatever you want. It is a Sojo episode.
Yay!
We love a bit of Sojo. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
Free range.
Do you know what you're going to do yet, Kylie?
Nope.
No. Have a rest.
Make a corset, Kylie.
So thanks so much for listening, everyone. We would love it if you could join our Facebook group, the Sewing Club Podcast Community, where we can share our makes and tips and tricks along the way.
And we have an Instagram as well, which is sewingclub.podcast. We have feedback forms attached to that. You can see our garments in the wild. We post videos there, and we love hearing all the feedback, so keep it coming.
We'd love it if you could subscribe, rate, review the podcast. All of that helps to get this podcast to as many people as possible.
Till next time.
Till next time.